Okay, we're recording. Hello traders. I wanted to get this out to you as fast as quick as possible. um, I used to trade the NQ on and off. One of the challenges with the NQ was its extreme volatility. Now, to trade the NQ, what we needed to then do was to have a very wide stop, and for many traders that sort of put them out of a market because you'd be talking about in the thousands. I want to give you a quick 5-minute overview of the NQ and the micro NQ, of how it's evolved, because what I've discovered in the last week or so, that there's some fantastic opportunities with the micro NQ for those with a smaller trading account. Now, I trade the ES. Why? It's reliable. I know it very well. It's a great market. I may not switch over to the micro. Why? I'm already kicking butt, as most of you know, on the ES. However, it's what I've witnessed in the last week, and I'll walk you through it, has been fantastic. And so I want to present this to you as an option. Now, I trade during the 𝗧𝗺𝗱𝗀𝗺𝗺 session, so we'll look at what's been happening on the 𝗧𝗺𝗱𝗀𝗺 session today with the micro NQ, but also it offers a fantastic opportunity for those that want to trade the New York hours, as the majority of my members are based in the US or like to trade the US hours. So let's get into this. First of all, and I just realized I don't have a disclaimer here. Just one moment. Now, I want to get that disclaimer in, otherwise the CFTC and the NFA may not be too happy with me. So as we know, there's a risk in trading. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. So back in on May the 6th, in what was it, I think it was in 2019, the CME introduced micros for these main markets, and since then there's a great micro on gold and also CL oil. There's some micros on some currency futures, but they're very thinly traded, not worth trading in my opinion. So we've seen the 10% of the value. So the NQ, the big contract, it's $20 a point or $5 a tick. So there are 4 ticks to a point, $5 increments it moves in. Now the micro NQ, or sorry, the NQ I should say, has always been a market to be known with a lot of volatility. Now what I wanted to show you here is, first of all, the micro here on the where are we here, it's 50 cents a tick, by the way. On the micro it's $1.25, and for members watching this that are in the current coaching folder, we're in July at the moment, you can download this PowerPoint. There is a folder there called micro NQ, so you can download this if you wish. But let me give you some background, because this is really important. If we go back to the 10th of the 8th 2019, for many years now I've kept screenshots of daily volumes for times like this. So if we go and look down here, we look at NQ first of all. Where are you? Up the top there. Hopefully you can see that. Perhaps I'll turn the camera off here, you don't need to see me. Up there you can see we turned over on this particular day 612,000 contracts. We then go down to the micro NQ and 335,000. Now this is a screenshot from TradeStation when I used to be with them. 335,000. okay, now back in days, and even if we go back to 2021, sometime later, Professor 𝗧𝗿𝗰𝗆, he was trading the micro NQ 4 points, okay, which is 4-point total. Just talking about 34 Bs, 85%, great win-loss ratio, by the way. But the point was, there much lower time frames. We then jump ahead and we can see here on the NQ on the 13th of the 8th 2021, the NQ turned over 280,000 that day, and the micro contract turned over 638. We then fast forward to 25. We can see down here that the NQ on this particular day, just a random day I've taken out of a screenshots, 411,000, and up here the micro NQ 1.1 million contracts. We then go to yesterday, Okay, so that was the 21st of the 7th 2026. The big contract here, 435,000, now 2.3 million contracts. Now the reason this is also really interesting is we're in summer holidays in the US, and here on the ES we can see where normally we turn over 1.5 million contracts a day. We turned over just under a million, yet we did 2.3 on the micro NQ. So the volume is picking up. This is a very low volume time of year. We then come across to today when I'm actually recording this. Once again, ES was very low volume. The NQ 430,000, and once again over 2.3 million contracts. Now we then look at our Renko chart settings. Normally we'd be looking at, or the good old days, at the 4-2. If that's too fast, we jump to the 6-3, maybe the 10. Today it's pretty standard to be looking at, during the Globex session, a 16-8. Now the Globex session is the after hours market, and as you're about to see, this been actually bring it across right now. So I'm recording this at 11:48 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we can see how on the NQ we've turned over 56,000 contracts, on the ES 64, but on the micro NQ 420,000. Now this is where the opportunity is. We've seen this massive amount of traders now jumping in and trading the micro NQ. Now because we've got such high probability strategies, and we've got the volume, and you've got the waves, you see what we're looking for when we consider a market to trade. We want to see some volatility, not too volatile where we can't trade it, and that's been part of the problem, and that's why really I haven't been looking at the micro NQ. But then I was looking at the volume. I thought, I'm going to start to, it's just interesting. I can see it going up almost weekly, and what is happening is traders are trading it, but with much wider stops and higher time frames, which smooths out the volatility. The next thing we've got is the capital requirements in a market. Trading the micro, and we'll talk about the account requirements in a moment, you've got relatively low capital requirements, and also ideally for those traders that are trading with prop firms. And the next thing that's really important, of course, is the volume. And as we can see, it's beating every other market we trade or consider we consider trading. Let me get that out. I'm running without a script here, everyone. So if we look at this, and let me just pull this up, where are we here? Might just make it easier. So if we're trading the 16 tick micro and we're waiting for the anchor chart 1 candle to close, you'd require a 1400 account. Why? We never risk more than 2%, which is $28. Now to work out that, you just multiply that by 50. Okay, can you get away with a smaller stop? Yes, but remember, we are money managers. First of all, we don't like risks. Now 1400, if you can't afford that, you can always start on like the ES micro, where you'll need a lot less capital. However, the moves that we're getting are outstanding. Now let's just say we go for a 5% return per day. That's $70. That's a 5% return per day, $70. And what we can see down here, within 14 weeks you'd be trading 17 contracts at a time. You'd be earning 5,000, nearly 6,000 a week. Your capital's grown to that. Within 18 weeks, 17 actually, you've got the potential there. You're trading 36. You're earning around 12,000 a week, and your capital is 53,000. Now for our newer members, I want you to remember that we only start trading an additional contract every time we get another 1400 in. So remember, we're using the market's money. Now if we wanted to trade the big contract, we'd need $14,000. Now, one of the things that does make it expensive in some ways, but it's really offset, is the commissions. And that is, here I'm allowing $2 round turn in commissions. Okay. uh, with Ninja, I'm with Ninja Trader, and I think it's $1.30 or $1.32 if you've got a lifetime license. But here I've allowed a full $2. Now, what that actually means, if you're trading 10 micros, which is the equivalent of a big contract, you're paying up to $20 in commission. Let's just say you average $1.50 per contract. That's $15 round turn compared to $4.36 round turn for the big contract. However, you've got so much more flexibility. You can scale in, you can scale out, you can take half off, let the other half run. You can also start off and say be trading 10, have a drawdown, drop down to 6. I won't get into money management in this section, but there's a whole lot of things that we can actually do. Now, what this shows us is on here, how do we achieve it? Now, once again, look at this and say, right, when the Y is big enough, the how will appear. All I need here is 4 5-step trades a day, which we'll look at in a moment, or 3 7-step trades, and that's 70, 72, and this is after allowing for any losses. Of course, 70, that's where we are. I'm saying to members, target at least $100, because from my trading on it and the sim trading and going back and testing the market, it's extremely realistic. 100 a day. Now that would be 4 5-step trades a day, or 6 5-steps, or 4, and look where you are in 11 weeks trading 25 contracts, which is, and you've built your account 37,000 using the market's money. Now the question is, okay, what's going to give us these setups? And it's going to be our 34Bs and our 2Bs. Now we then so let me run through this, just remembering what the slides are. Okay, so if we're trading the micro MNQ, we need $1,400, allowing the commission. If we wait for our anchor chart 1 candle to close, okay, you've got a 56 tick stop. If you're with your T3 setups, if you're going to trade T3s, I recommend new members don't initially. You focus on trading with the trend. Okay, that's where your offsets are. But here, if you go for 5 steps, now what's a step, by the way? We're mainly using Renko charts, and they have a little steps that you see we'll get to in a moment. Okay, so you can see that you're going for your 7-step moves. 4 of those, let's take off $2 commission, let's actually hack it back a bit more to $25. 4 of those is $100 per contract. The great thing is the as you just saw, there's been 43, what is it now, 425,000 contracts have traded in the past 4 hours. Now that's a whole opportunity for you. Now moving along here, so targets to go for $70 a day, 3 7-step trades, or 4 5-step trades. If you're going for $100 a day, and these are what I call scalps, 6 5-steps, 4 7s, or 3 10s. Now you may then wonder, well, look, what's going to give me the 10-step moves? That is going to be your deep pullback 2Bs of trending EMAs. Now if we consider, what would I consider as a sensible target, it'd be a minimum of 5 steps, or at least making sure you're at break even at 5 steps. So I'm going to break even at which is 40 ticks, by the way, 40 ticks, plus I lock 4 ticks in, cover commissions. Now at times you may need to use market orders. Now once you learn how to use the chart trader, you can anticipate using the bar status indicator when your anchor chart 1 candle's going to close. And even today, I was using market orders and it had virtually no slippage on 20 contracts. Also, you may consider turning the anchor chart rule of 1 alert on to give you an early heads up. Now, the 16 tick is very tradable most of the time during the Globex session. You may have to jump up, or you will have to quite often with the way it's been trading, to the 30 tick during the New York hours. Now what that means is you will need a larger account. But this afternoon was actually 4 a.m. bit after 4 a.m. my time this afternoon, New York time. The 16 tick was really tradable up till 3 p.m. okay, and so there, what would my target be? I need 2600. The minimum there is, what's that? That's sorry everyone, I just got to think, $130 a day, a minimum of 5%. But let's and on the chart time frames, you might be able to have to jump up to a 25 tick chart or whatever. Make sure you watch the training videos in the chart time frames folders in the members area, where you'll work out how I set up the entry chart, anchor chart 1 time frames. It's very, very important. So let's just have a look at this. So this was this afternoon's, or yes, for the time I'm recording this. It's by the way, it's 11:58 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is at 2:27. Now first of all, this is all just testing using the 16 tick. So this is problematic straight away, selling into a pivot, so I got stopped. So once again, this is testing trading 20 lots. Now it's not the same trading a sim account compared to a live account, but it's quite close with NinjaTrader. Okay, what I wanted to check out was slippage. Now here I sold straight into a pivot and we got stopped. No great surprise. Up here I had a T12 and down here then scalp that. I then had another entry being a T10 setup. So for members, we are trading the exact same setups on this market as we do with any other market with our setups. Like here we had a beautiful T10 and it was just perfect on, and I wasn't in on this one, but perfect on the anchor chart 1. Now what we'd be after there is effectively $100 per contract. There we're up 63 per contract in half an hour, 20 minutes, and that's not taking every trade, by the way, but the volume was huge. Now what was interesting though is on the super dom you don't get to see the true volume, okay? And it's, the market depth is incredible. Now up there, there's a T12 we should have been on. Well, if we were trading a live account, then you had that one there, that one there. Then it started to take off, and today we had Tesla earnings report came out. We also had Alphabet, Google come out. So then we had some incredible volatility. Now what do we do when the market moves like this? Yes, we can increase our time frame from 16 to 30 or even 40 ticks. However, this is a good time to sit on hands, and this is all over 2 minutes in 2 minutes in time. Now let's fast forward to where we are right now. So if we look at this, and just to make sure everyone's very clear here, these are what I call steps. Okay, so if we go back to our PowerPoint for a moment, we go up to here for $100 a day. We need 4 7-step trades. Now naturally that's after any losses. So let's just go back to this. What's going to give us our 7-step moves? Okay, when we've got our 34 B's and our 2 B's. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. No, that there is probably a fifth. That's a good 20-step move. We're after 4 7-step moves. Okay, romped it in, probably 10 again. Now we can look at this, and I know if you're not familiar with our trading strategies, let's just have a look at the anchor chart just there. Okay, and just there, that was actually a T10 long, not a short. Either way, we're very flat. Now, there's no certainties in trading, there's only probabilities. So what are we looking for? We're looking for good trending EMAs, and we want to then refer to our anchor chart as we do with every other market. We can see our trade line is heading down, we can see our stochastic is down, we can see our midline is down. Guess what we want to do there? We want to go short, and there is 10 steps. Thank you very much. I then come over to here, and what do I do here? Okay, so I'm looking at this right there. You've got a potential bounce just here. Now this is one thing with the NQ. Now the low of that candle is 72.75. The low of that candle there is 71.75. 4 ticks. This is very common on the NQ. Okay, so it doesn't hurt to have your stop. We normally have our stop 1 tick below, but to have it 4 or 5 ticks below. But also we are very flat just there. Look at your anchor chart, and not only that, look at your stoke and look at your midline. They're pointing down. Now if we wait for them to turn, we romp 7 steps in. So what we want to be doing, as always, is trading in the direction, waiting for our retracements and trading in the direction of the anchor chart 1. Now look at your classic T12 move just there. Okay, now that was over 5 minutes. You had plenty of time to take that. Okay, so beautiful T12 and a T3 setup. Once again, we can see we're trending down here. We got our typical bounces in the direction of the higher time frame, and let me remind you, you only need 4 7-step trades, and if I whiz down here once again, or 3 10-step trades to net our $100 a day. And you can see here you can make a great deal of money out of this. So you got the why, and I've shown you the how members. So I'm going to do a lot more work on this. Now here are some of the other things I've looked at. For an example, looking at the 8 tick, but I haven't bought this up for months. Why? It hasn't been tradable. The market has been that fast, it just hasn't been worth it. Like the 6 tick, and of course we got the micros here somewhere as well. Don't know where it is, but anyway, but with these micros, seriously, for the New York hours and even the Globex session, it's fantastic. Now if I now look at the ES, let's just look at the ES here. Now the ES, of course, you've got the micro contract on the ES as well, which is $1.25. Now I'll probably just continue with the big contract, but I've got the account size and the experience. So you can see there we just had a nice slingshot, another one. I had a big T3 just there, and for $3.50 a day per contract, I only need 28 ticks per contract to achieve that. Now that's 28 of those a day. Now it's now 12:05 a.m. In 1 hour and 55 minutes, we then get the London Open. Now for those that love to be up at midnight, in a few, if not now, from now on, there's some great trading generally from now to 2 a.m. Central, which is the London Open. Now with all of these markets, they're open 23 hours a day, so you've got great trading opportunities really the whole time. So hopefully this has been interesting and educational. I'd really recommend traders you have a really good look at the micro NQ, and what really impressed me was I was using the DOM to place orders. I used the chart trader and it providing, see, let's just quickly go back to that. Remember, using the bar status indicator, it tells me where to enter or where to put a buy stop order in. So using my bar status, I can right click, then go down to buy stop market. Okay, and I can get my order in place. Okay, so I've got my resting order there, and I can bring that down to 19, drag and drop within microsecond. So using the bar status indicator, even though the market, for an example here, is going absolutely crazy right now. Now remember, you can slow it down by clicking on that if you're with NinjaTrader, and most trading platforms you can do this with. Okay, and you look at the volume and you think, oh, 643, but it's not until I really dive deep into it that the depth of this is fantastic. Okay, but you can use your super dom for placing your orders. You can use your chart trader for placing your orders as well, and we've got plenty of notice. So just have your resting order, and just get ready. If you want to enter, say on the close of this candle, say to go short, we then get under the market, right click, put a sell stop in. Whoops, I've got this one here, but we can then put an order in under the market down there. So hopefully this has been educational. So members, I'll see you in our next coaching session, and in the live trading room we're going to be looking at this a lot closer as well. Thanks traders, hope you enjoyed the video.